ॐ वाङ् मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्मयेधि वेदस्य आणीस्तः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनाधीतेनाहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ओम्। Om. May my speech be accorded with the mind. May my mind be accorded with the speech. O self-effulgent one Brahman, reveal thyself to me. May you both, speech and mind, be the carriers of the highest truth to me. May not all that I have heard depart from me. May I be able to join day and night through this study. I shall utter what is verbally true. I shall utter what is mentally true. May that Brahman protect me. May that Brahman protect the teacher. May that protect me. May that protect the teacher. Om, peace, peace. Peace be unto you all. Good morning. Today is Mother's Day. So, I would like to dedicate this talk to Holy Mother Sarada Devi, and the topic I have chosen for this morning is the motherhood as revealed by Sri Ramakrishna. We know Sri Ramakrishna practiced all the religions of the world in one life, in his person. It is amazing. And another surprising thing is that he attained the highest realization of spirituality through each religion. So ultimately he had an experience where his chosen deity, Mother Kali, in different form appeared before him and said, "Now you have finished all the spiritual practices through all religions of the world. Now you lead your life, the rest of your life, through Bhavamukha." This is a new term in the world of spirituality. It is called in Sanskrit Bhavamukha. Bhava means mood, different moods. And Mukha means, the normal meaning of Mukha means mouth. But the source, Mouth is the source of our verbal communication. So mukha means the source, the fountain head. That is called mukha. So what does it mean by bhava mukha? Bhava mukha is different mood, the source of different moods. That is called bhava mukha. It can also be explained like a threshold. A threshold of a room or a house, we know that if we put a candle on the threshold, what happens? We find that light goes in both sides of the threshold, inside the room and outside the room. His position was like that. Spirituality is transcendental, but we are in immanent. So, at ease, he could swing himself to the transcendental and the immanent. So, any moment he could, by his wish, travel in the realm of transcendental spirituality. And then he could come down in the normal stage of immanent world. So this stage is called bhavamukha. So it is the source of different mood. So he could travel in any time at ease in the transcendental mood, in the immanent mood. So, and not only that, it is the source of different moods. In any time he could switch over in different moods. It is a kind of vestibule. In the train, we know the vestibule is there. And if you can go through the vestibule, you can enter any of the compartment if you want. So it is a kind of vestibule, a corridor from where you can enter any room you like. So that was the meaning of bhavamukha, the source of different kinds of moods. Again, we know that according to Indian philosophy, the absolute reality is neither male nor female, without any form. So, the absolute reality is without form, neither any sex, but for our own spiritual practice, because it is very difficult to conceptualize the absolute without any form, without anything, it is very difficult. So for our own spiritual practices, we assume different anthropomorphic God and goddesses. So we assume different types of God and goddesses, and accordingly different sects in Indian religion developed. Those who are following the path of bhakti, for them this anthropomorphic form is very important, and their highest attainment is to become identified with their own chosen deity. Now, as there are innumerable chosen deities, a new cult was started. They followed the mother cult. They follow the absolute God or absolute reality is a female figure, mother. Not only the female figure, but the mother. So the mother cult was developed. Why it was mother? It was because mother is the source of creation. Mother creates. This universe was created. Everybody, we all are created. So mother is the source. Mother gives birth of everything. So mother is the highest powerful one. So from where everything creates. So accordingly, they accept this school of religion. They accept that mother is the highest power of the universe. And mother, actually, by the help of mother, the children, they grow up. So mother is the ideal personality to whom we can worship. So that was the new sect came. But it is very clear that that is mother, not any other woman, but the mother figure, the motherhood. In Upanishad we find, in Shetashvatara Upanishad, Tang Stri, Tang Pumangsi, Tang Kumara, Utapa Kumari. So you are male, you are female. By pointing absolute, Shetashvatara Upanishad explains that you are male, you are female, you are beyond that. So like that they explained. But Shankaracharya in Viveka Chudamani very clearly says that it is mother. He says in the technique, how can we get rid of the basic thoughts? The people, they have innumerable basic thoughts. So how can we get rid of that? Different basic urge or some kind of basic thoughts and urge. How can we get rid of that? Because spirituality is not the worldly desire. If we have the worldly desire, spirituality is far from that. So that's why it is said, Jahan Ram Uha Kam Nahi. So if there is desire, there is no God. So worldly desire and God, desire for God, is just opposite side of the coin. So that's why Shankaracharya says, how can we get rid of that? Shankaracharya says in verse number 424 probably, in Vivek Chudamani, he says, Attyanto kamuko syapi vrittihi kuntuti matari tathaibo brahmani jnate purnanande munishinaha. It is a Sanskrit verse. He said, the propitiates of even or confirmed libertine are checked in the pursuance of his mother. Just so, when Brahman, the bliss absolute, has been realized, the man of realization has no longer any worldly tendencies. So if any kind of bad propensities or any kind of basic urges, basic thoughts come to our mind, just change this towards mother. Attyanto kamuko syapi vritti kuntuti matari. So vritti, the thoughts, changes towards the mother. If we think mother. So, the disciple, one of the disciples of Sri Ramakrishna, he asked Sri Ramakrishna, you see, young boy. So he asked Sri Ramakrishna, you see, sometimes I have very bad thought, kind of, how can I get rid of those bad thoughts? Then Sri Ramakrishna says, you think that the image in which direction your bad thoughts are going, try to change that image into Mother Kali, and you will find that immediately your thoughts will go. So it has a science behind that. I am not going to that science today, because I am only explaining the motherhood of Sri Ramakrishna. How could he change this motherhood of Sri Ramakrishna, the motherhood of ideal? So Shankaracharya also approved that mother ideal is the highest ideal, where there is no tinge of any desire. This is the worship of womanhood in Indian culture. We find there are different types of things, and there are some kind of dangerous thing also. As for example, the Tantra. We find in Tantra, they are also the worshipper of Mother God. But those are the pitfalls. Those are, as in the language of Sri Ramakrishna, that is also the path of spirituality, but that is a kind of scavenger's path. That is a very dirty path. If you want to travel to your spiritual path, and if you want to reach to the highest point, then why don't you go to the freeway? Go travel through freeway. Why are you going to some dirty path, where there is bad things are there? Then why will you go there? Go through that path. So that's the thing what Sri Ramakrishna says. But what is the speciality? So we could understand that in Indian religion and spirituality, there are innumerable paths to attain the highest absolute. And the form of higher absolutes are different. Sometimes it is without form, sometimes with form, sometimes it is Mother Godhead, sometimes it is Father Godhead. It's innumerable. And people follow that in different ways, and accordingly, different religious sect developed. But what is the speciality of Sri Ramakrishna here? That is, I am going to explain you. For Sri Ramakrishna, the necessary implication of motherhood of God is the acceptance of womanhood as a symbol of motherhood. That means, for Sri Ramakrishna, it is not the counterpart of male personality. Mother is not the counterpart of male personality. Motherhood is a state. Motherhood is a kind of absolute ideal. So, the womanhood as a symbol of motherhood, any woman is a symbol of mother. That is number one. Take the example. So, he saw the mother in every woman, irrespective of her status or character. When Sarada Devi, his wedded wife, asked him what he thought of her, Sri Ramakrishna boldly replied, "The mother who is in the temple, the mother who gave birth of me and is living in the Nahabat, is verily standing as you before me." So each and everybody, any woman, he saw as mother. He said at one point of time that I used to invite maidens here and worship them. I found them to be the embodiments of Divine Mother itself. One day, I saw a woman in blue standing near the bakul tree. She was a prostitute, but she instantly kindled in me the vision of Sita. I forgot the woman. I saw it was Sita herself on her way to meet Rama after her rescue from Ravana in Lanka. So everywhere we find that the figure of woman is nothing but mother to him. This is number one. Secondly, the motherhood is an attitude. It is not necessary that only woman will bear this motherhood nature or this motherhood attitude. Even the male personality also can adopt the motherhood attitude. What is the characteristics of mother? Mother scolds her children. At the same time, mother has a tremendous love for her children. So it is a combination of growing up them, nurture her children, and at the same time a strict discipline also we find in mother. So if anybody can adopt this kind of characteristics, is ideal for the society. So motherhood, as Sri Ramakrishna revealed, is not just for the woman. It is an attitude, it is a state, a spiritual state where love, empathy, and everything showers to everybody. From the life and teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, we come to know that the mother cult want to raise an aspirant to a level of insight in which he comes to recognize the Divine Mother as the background of all contradictory expression and value of life. What gives us suffering? The contradictoriness, life and death, this contradiction, good and bad, this contradiction, vidya and avidya, beauty and ugliness. We swing between these two apex, between two different points. And our problem develops here because we want one, but we have no help to get another. We want to live a long life, but death comes. So this conflict, these opposite things actually gives us trouble and suffering. But one should understand that everywhere is the Mother Shakti. If good is the mother power, then bad is also the same mother power. Only when one can realize the mother power, then only one can understand that both good and bad are the expression of the same one mother power. Only by realizing the mother power, we can get rid of all these dualities. From the example of Sri Ramakrishna, it is clear that even in these disciplines, association with womankind in any relationship other than that of child is contradictory to the fundamental assumption of belief. Mother cult and that quick success in them is attained only by them who uniformly kept up this attitude. If there is any kind of mother attitude, the relation should be mother and child. In conversation of Sri Ramakrishna recorded in the Gospel, we find many striking imageries and thoughts throwing a floodlight on the Master's conception of divine motherhood. A string of questions of such passages from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna will be helpful for a better understanding of the conception of Divine Mother. According to Sri Ramakrishna, Mother Kali is none other than Brahman. So see, Mother Kali is not the counterpart. The female form is not the counterpart of male form. Female form is the independent power of any kind of expression of motherhood. So the question was asked, and he actually explained it again and again, that Kali is none other than Brahman. We know the concept of Brahman. See, Brahman is formless, etc., etc. So he equated Mother Kali as Brahman, whereas philosophically, the yoga philosophy or other different philosophical schools, they explained the mother power is the power of Prakriti, power of material cause, power of action. But according to Sri Ramakrishna, the motherhood is the power of the absolute. He says, she is the primal energy. When that energy remains inactive, I call it Brahman. And when it creates, preserves and destroys, I call it Shakti or Kali. So the same one power, one is active, one is inert, passive. Sri Ramakrishna gave another example, the snake. When snake is like a cord, like a crawling like that and stay in one place and sleeping, it is inert. But when it is going or moving, it is a dynamic. So the same snake, when it is inert and passive, that is called the absolute Shiva. And when it is active or going, it is called Kali. The same thing in two manifestations. They are like fire and is power to burn. If one recognizes Kali, one must recognize Brahman. Again, if one recognizes Brahman, one must recognize Kali. Brahman and its power are identical. It is Brahman whom I address as Shakti or Kali. So this is the absolute power, and this is an attitude, this is an ideal. So motherhood, according to Sri Ramakrishna, is an ideal. Sri Ramakrishna, according to motherhood, according to Sri Ramakrishna, is the highest attainment of spirituality. It is a spiritual practice. And if we go through his life, we find that same thing from the beginning of his spiritual practice. We find the Bhairavi, Vaishnavi, he came. And to Bhairavi, Sri Ramakrishna was just like a child. And she taught in many ways different spirituality, the Tantra, the Vaishnavism, many different spiritual bhakti path Vaishnavi taught Sri Ramakrishna. Then we find the Ramlala, where Sri Ramakrishna is mother and Ramlala is a child. So Ramlala is the little Ramachandra, and a Ramait aspirants who practice the spirituality according to the path of Ramachandra. So he gave actually one stone, and that is Ramlala. Ramlala is not any anthropomorphic figure. So Ramlala was a small piece of stone, but Sri Ramakrishna saw that Ramlala as a little Ramachandra is playing with him. He is naughty, he is going out to the sun, and Sri Ramakrishna beats him. So in different ways, it is a divine play. So in many ways, he literally saw, visualized the presence of Ramlala. So at that point of time, he is mother and Ramlala is the child. So in this way, we know the path of bhakti is nothing but to establish a relation, a worldly relation with God. Unless we establish a close relation, spirituality cannot be done. It is because we cannot establish a loving relation with any kind of thought, any kind of intelligence, any kind of philosophical logic. We can only establish a loving relationship with a person who is real. So unless a person would be there, unless some reality is there, we cannot establish a loving relationship. And unless we establish a loving relationship with our chosen deity, we cannot go closer, we cannot become one with him or her. So that is the basis of bhakti spiritual practice. So Sri Ramakrishna established always in different ways. We know this is called bhava, mood, different mood. And we find in bhakti practice that there is 6 types of moods. We have to establish, we can establish 6 types of attitude towards God. Dasya, Sakhya, Madhura. So all these attitudes we find. Then again, there are 9 types of bhakti, 9 types of establish we can, and 11 types. In Naradiya Bhakti Sutra we find there are 11 types of attitude we can adopt. So Sri Ramakrishna, we find that during his spiritual practice, he adopted different kind of attitude. Sometimes the child attitude, sometimes the mother attitude. Even his relation with his direct disciples, as for example, Swami Brahmananda was just like a mother and child. When Mahapurush Maharaj, Swami Shivananda first saw, because we know from the life of Mahapurush Maharaj, Swami Shivananda, that Shivanandaji's mother passed away when he was very little baby. At that time, his mother passed away. So practically, he could not see his mother. So when he first saw Sri Ramakrishna, immediately he experienced that it is her mother. It was his mother. So immediately he recognized Sri Ramakrishna as mother. And throughout his life, he nurtured that particular thought. Again, in Brahmananda, we find that Sri Ramakrishna's attitude towards Brahmananda was just like a mother. But it is not that this motherhood attitude or motherhood things is not necessarily one has to become mother or female. Mother is the attitude. It is a kind of spiritual practice. It is a kind of expression of spirituality. It is the highest kind of practice. Another direct disciple, Swami Sharandananda, he requested Sri Ramakrishna by saying, "Bless me so that I can see in every person the manifestation of mother." Then Sri Ramakrishna told him that, you see, that is the highest attainment. So at the final stage, it can happen, not now. But Swami Sharandananda, he wrote that at the end of his life, he experienced that. He experienced that this closet is mother. He saw the dogs in the street. He experienced is the mother. Everywhere he saw everything. Living, non-living. He experienced the expression of mother. So, this is actually a very, according to Sri Ramakrishna, extremely high spiritual attitude. And Sri Ramakrishna is the embodiment of that kind of spiritual practice. So, motherhood or expression of motherly attitude, of spiritual practice of motherhood is the new contribution in the world of spirituality by Sri Ramakrishna. Before that, there was Matri Bhava. Say, as for example, we know the different sadhaka, different aspirants, they practiced as mother, Kali as a mother. But this kind of spiritual practice, the motherhood, the attitude of mother, this is a new kind of spiritual practice that Sri Ramakrishna added in the world of spirituality. And it is a kind of very high practice, and it can be practiced. Because if we practice it, automatically the purity will come. We can practice it. We can practice it because it is said, whenever there is any kind of degraded thought will come to our mind, we just immediately, we just change the form and our thoughts will go. When a thought, the science behind that is very clear, the psychological science behind that is very clear. So when we think something, it comes to our mind in two ways. One, with form. When we think anything, there must be a form. And this form is connected with our emotion. Take the example. If I have a desire to eat a rasagulla this morning. So if I have this desire to eat rasagulla this morning, then in my mind there will be the form of rasagulla and my emotion will be connected with that form, rasagulla. So how can I get rid of that kind of thought? Either I have to replace the form of rasagulla, or I have to direct my emotion to another object. These are the only two ways. So if any kind of bad thought comes, the Sri Ramakrishna's advice was, replace the object with Mother Kali. And immediate, because it is divine. If we can replace the form with any divine form, it will change. Or we can direct our emotion to something higher than the object we are trying to opt. So if we change this in this way, it is called Pratipoksha Bhavana in Buddhist spiritual practice, and in Patanjali Yoga Sutra. We have this technique of changing our thoughts or controlling our thoughts is called Pratipoksha Bhavana. Pratipoksha means opposite. Bhavana means thought. Opposite thought. So when we are, in a very good condition, we just think the opposite thought that we are in somewhere. So this is called Pratipoksha Bhavana. Mahapurush Maharaj, one of the direct disciples, he used to say, because they were the itinerant monk, they used to go everywhere for begging. So he said that when I spent my night under the tree, I thought that I am at some palace, lying down in a beautiful bed. And when I was in a palace, sleeping in a beautiful bed, I thought that I am under the tree. So this is called Pratipoksha Bhavana, opposite thinking. It helps us to face the odds in different times. So, this is the science behind the thoughts. But the main thing is that this motherhood as a spiritual practice is extremely higher kind of spiritual practice that Sri Ramakrishna practiced himself, and he showed that and advised that this kind of practice to perform, which can gives us liberation also. So motherhood is not any kind of physical figure. It is not the opposite counterpart of some male personality. Motherhood of spirituality is a state of mind, is a state of spiritual attainment. It is a kind of attitude what we can express and practice ourselves. In the management, it is said that this manager, if they can practice this motherhood attitude, that is what is actually needed. We find that managerial attitude should be the friendly attitude, the group attitude. Now what is very popular is the group attitude, I am the group leader and there is a group and team, a team attitude. These are the very popular attitude nowadays. But motherly attitude is extremely helpful for the managerial post. You can think it and you can try it. Any question? Okay. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschit dukkham apnuat, sarvastarotu durgani, sarvo bhadrani pashyatu, sarva sadbuddhim apnotu, sarva sarvatra nandatu, durjana sajjano bhuyat, sajjana shantim apnuat, shantamucchete bandhebhyo, muktaschanyan vimochayet. May all be happy, may all enjoy good health, may all see happy events, may all be freed from miseries, may all be freed from dangers, may all realize what is good, may all be actuated by noble thoughts, may all rejoice everywhere, may the wicked become virtuous, may the virtuous attain tranquility, the tranquil be free from bondages, may the freed make others free. May the Supreme Spirit, the presiding deity of all sacred activities, be satisfied. For he being pleased, the whole universe feels satisfied. Om, peace, peace, peace be unto you all. So as usual, tea and coffee will be served from the Saradananda hall, which will be followed by prasad luncheon. You all are welcome. And we are celebrating 125th anniversary of Swami Vivekananda's visit to the Bay Area. So we have already observed and organized 2 events. The third event will be on 4th July. Here there will be the spiritual retreat whole day from 10:30 to 4:30. There will be different lectures by different monks of Vedanta order. And then there will be some devotional songs. There will be some instrumental music and so on. So you all are requested to join this whole day retreat. There will be meditation also. So there will be a whole day retreat on 4th July, and 5th July in San Ramon there will be another lecture in the evening only. There will be another lecture. So 4th and 5th we have this part. But in July 26th, that is the only event we are doing the fundraising. It is out of ticket selling. So 26th July in San Jose, the Center for Performing Art, different world famous musicians, they are participating in this Indian classical music concert. There will be the flute master, there will be the violin, there will be the vocal. So you can go through our website and you can find the name of the artist and the ticket pricing, etc. So please join, because this is a great participation of yours to commemorate Swami Vivekananda's visit to the Bay Area 125 years ago. So I request you all to join all the events. Then afterwards we will have some publication of books. We will have bus tour, Vivekananda pilgrimage, and the concluding program will be on 21st February 2026, again in the Unitarian Church. Thank you very much. We have published a calendar also, very good calendar now, although almost 6 months, but you can have that. It is a very good document to keep.